and welcome back. Picking up where we left off last time in the Banished Vault, where we pretty much finished up our planning. One thing of planning I've noticed... Oh no, I already did the math, okay. So, one thing we're basically planning to do right now is taking advantage of that. Most of our ships with the Engine 2, auxiliary engine here, the Thrust 2, 175 efficiency engines, is that most of the objectives that we want to hit, I think we can hit these guys to go to with the most efficient engine. So we can leave the bigger engines back at home today. So we'll issue that thrust order. You're going to the Hallowed Planet. With a 6 fuel order. And then you are going to take a quick stop over to explore that ship. It actually doesn't cost any fuel, you can just go. But they'll need fuel to get down that planet to collect the water. Set the water collector up. Okay. And we have figured out what's here. So we've got an android with a tiny ship with an alien plant. The Chunt 17. Ship mass 1, so it's actually the smallest ship we can reasonably get, I think. Yeah, the smallest ship we can reasonably get. Has space for 2 people. Has alien plant life on it, so we'll take the alien plant life. And we'll take the android. I'm going to leave the ship there for the moment because it has no engine and it's got no fuel. And I'm not in a position to give it an engine or give it fuel, so worst case scenario, we're going to leave the ship behind just because we don't have the ability to move it. Let's see, is there any hazards in this orbit? No. Good. So we can set up the methane harvester. Okay, methane harvester set up. So we now produce the methane here. This also means that we could hypothetically make the fuel here. I don't think this is a good place to make fuel because it's a bunch of energy to get in and out of that area. It's much better to put it in orbit over where we're going to make the water. We're not going to make it in orbit. So it's going to cost me 1 more fuel to do this move than that move. But because we picked up the android, that's actually what I'm going to do. A little bit more fuel inefficient here. We're going to see what's in orbit. So there's no hazards in this orbit. And there aren't. So to put the converter here, I can figure out what the converter costs. It's going to be 2 titanium. Okay. I can't even place it. Okay, so it's going to be 2 titanium, 1 iron. Set this up. And the rest of this iron is to go make the water producer. Which is the higher priority right now. I'm going to leave the artifact here. We're going to come back here. That way I've got more carrying capacity for taking water off the surface of the planet. We're going to go down to the planet. We're going to hope that there isn't any hazards. We got lucky. There's no hazards. There's an artifact here, which would be nice to see. Nice to harvest. right here to make a water producer. So we're basically going to fill this thing up with water, then we're going to orbit, and we're going to make a bunch of fuel. So they're good, they're good, you're still traveling. Good to see, all around. Plans are actually working. Okay, so we can start making methane. And we will need methane. How greedy do I want to be? So the plan right now was just to make methane, so that we'd have methane to make elixir. Okay, I think the real choice on whether I'm going to be greedy or not is if there is no hazards on the hollowed planet. So if we can come down to the hollowed planet and make the sulfur and the elixir on the hollowed planet, we'll do that. If we can't, then we're just going to take the methane back to the planet. Or back to the main ship. In which case, these guys right now, we don't know what you're going to do, but we know we're here to make methane, so make methane. Similar here. You're here to make water so we can make fuel, so make water. We're basically waiting on the ship to get down to the hollow planet so that we know what we want to do in the system besides make fuel and methane. We are got a lot more actions now because we have picked up that android, which is nice to see. Probably only need 2 stacks of methane. Right, the main thing we use methane for is elixir and... Okay, there's a way to turn it into CO2, but CO2 is easy enough to get. I think we're just gonna care more about methane, making elixir out of it. So yeah, 2 stacks of methane is more than we need. Oh, and the other thing we use methane for, I do want, is I want to make some caracal engines. And to be fair, I might want to make 3 or 4 caracal engines. No, 3 caracal engines. So that would be another stack of methane. So let's make up like 3 stacks of methane, and then these guys will just ship themselves back, potentially with whatever fuel we've made, back to the vault, so we can make that engine. Okay, so everyone's done their actions. So let's see what's on the hallowed planet. Okay, so there was no hazards in the hallowed planet orbit. Any hazards on the hallowed planet? No. Okay, so we might try to do something that is greedy. First, where to put the Scriptorium? Okay, so the Scriptorium looks like it's going to cover either the silicon, which we want, or the water. So I'm just going to assume, because we got a source of water somewhere else in the system. It might not be as efficient as down here on the hollowed planet. But we got an efficient fuel production option, so... Halfway to victory. The planet stilled when the storm erupted from the pyramid. The sun drew close overhead, its blinding light overpowering the stars. The settlers could not see one another for the light, and only the pyramid itself remained visible. Okay, so at this point, we could come down here and we could set up... I don't have the materials for it. We can plan it out, right? So, harvest... silica. and convert. Oh, yeah. Oops. Wrong button. And convert that silica and the methane to elixir. So we'd have to drag down 5 iron and 1 titanium, but that's pretty easy to do. In fact, we got 3 iron here, right? So we just need to drag down another 2 iron and titanium. Okay, so before I forget, let's get this guy back on his ship so he's easier to order to leave. Really, right now we're thinking, do we want to go there, pick up more fuel, before sending him back to the vault? I think the answer is yes. Has no action, so we're not going to send him off to do that right now. And I think we have worked out how much methane we want. We want 3 cargo capacity of methane. So let's make that methane. So next turn, these guys will set out for the fuel. Probably fill this guy up all the way with fuel, and then we'll go to where we're going to build the fuel producer. Okay. This is turning out to be a very productive system. Start the maneuver. It's going to take you a long time to get there, but start the maneuver. Do want to gather a little bit more methane before we leave. That much methane. Technically, I gathered 1 more methane, but might as well bring it with us. Then they arrive. We can use the 1 action here to actually build the station. Before these guys leave, we do want more water. I think that is all the water we will hopefully want. So let's send these guys to orbit as well, where they'll finish up by building the fuel producer. Obviously, no fuel has been produced, but that's what we're going to work on next. Oh, I suppose one thing I could have picked off the planet is we didn't grab the artifact. Should probably grab the artifact. It's 1 fuel down, 1 fuel up, so it's not that expensive to do. It'll cost me 3 actions in fact. But it's not too bad. I forgot to grab. Well, forgot to check to see what the artifacts were. There are 2 artifacts here that are probably worth grabbing. And you're still moving. Okay. Okay, so a bunch of water to process into fuel. Let's go grab, before I forget, let's grab that artifact. I suppose technically to pick it off the planet I would have needed the cargo ship volume anyway, so... Okay, so now we know how much space we have. Okay, I think we want to be here... Actually, if I don't leave these guys with any fuel, because they're going to make their own fuel, we can load up on what fuel we have, and this is probably a decent shipment back to the vault. And then on their way back, they can bring the engine and the petrol required to get Chant 17 moving. I may send Chant 17 around exploring, because it's got pretty good fuel efficiency. And then you're moving, you still got 2 more turns before you get there. Okay, here we're making water. We're making fuel. Make us fuel. Okay, so people have arrived at their vault. Drop off the artifacts, get our knowledge. One of these guys I want to make an engine. Just got the achievement for building an engine. Okay, how much stuff do I want to bring down here? And do I want the cargo ship to bring it? So the elixir maker, we'd be making the silicon in place. So we'd be bringing down the methane. So the question is, do I want to bring down 2 things of methane? If I do want to bring down 2 things of methane, then I probably want the cargo ship to be the one doing it. Because otherwise I'd have to send down 2 runs of the small one to both bring the iron, the titanium, and the methane. Yeah, let's plan on having the cargo ship do the run down there. So the other question is, does the cargo ship want to run down there? Yeah, I don't want to stop in orbit, so the cargo ship pretty much is just going to run the whole way there. So then the question is, we want the cargo ship to run on that engine so we can actually do the landing. $13 fuel trip. There and back again. Is doable, so that'd be 3 stacks of fuel that we'd have to bring along just for it. Oh, I suppose for Mr. Little Guy here, to get back to the vault, I don't have to give him any fuel, because it's 0 energy to go back to the vault. Just blew my mind with that thought. I don't need to bring him, don't need to give him any fuel. Just need to put someone on board to do the transport. Okay, so then we need 5 iron and 1 titanium. Okay, there we go. That's what we need. We're gonna do a stopover there, which obviously doesn't take any fuel. The second guy will get off with the engine so that we can move the ship. He can go pick up fuel to do his fly arounds. Where the cargo ship does the rest of the trip down there. So we'll get you going. Now we're making fuel. we are probably going to want to send one of these guys, probably just filled with fuel, down to the Hollow Planet to help with the production of the elixir. But for the moment, we don't need him down there. Don't need to send him down right now. Let's then make a bunch of fuel, so we got the fuel to do that trip. Okay, so that ship's full of fuel. And we still have 8 more water, so we can fill this ship all the way with fuel. Which is nice to see. So we're being very productive in making fuel. Wasn't a bad idea to get the fuel in rent. And then we'll be making elixir down there. We are going to burn 3 turns just getting down there. And it will be 3 turns out as well. Select the ship, transfer you and the engine, load the engine, start the maneuver to go get some fuel. Because he doesn't actually have enough fuel to go to our fuel place, so we'll have to send him out back to the vault, but that's fine. And then you have enough fuel to make it down there and back. It's going to go through a lot of fuel, but you've got enough to do the trip. So we'll send you down there. This is when we want to send the help to make that elixir. So these guys are going to send out or head out now. This is a pretty fuel-heavy trip as well. 11 fuel down. And because of that, we got lots and lots and lots of fuel requirements. So this guy's basically going to sit here and be making more fuel. Okay, so we load the ship full of fuel. I'm going to use as one action to see what's on this planet, to see if there's anything interesting on that planet. It's going to cost us a little bit of fuel, but we can find that info out right now. There's sulfur, there is titanium, there is 1 artifact worth 10 science. No. There's 10 artifacts worth 1 science. That isn't worth the time in the field to harvest. I'm going to say that right now, it's not worth the time in the field to harvest. Okay, so we're going to get him back, drop fuel off, and then he'll go back to basically bouncing between these 2 points, making a bunch of fuel. Okay, so he's ready for that trip. Just 1 fuel. You're ready to actually pick up some fuel, so you're going to be doing exploring. That's what you're going to be doing. Okay, I only got 8 fuel to give you, so you're going to have to try to be efficient with that 8 fuel. Which I think you can be. Yeah, so we can go figure out what's on that planet for 12. And I think for like 2, you'll be able to get to the fuel location to pick up the fuel. So that's a pretty good choice. Yeah. Send you out. Okay, everyone's traveling between places at the moment. Okay, they've arrived. Drop the methane and the equipment off. Construct. Construct. We're gonna need some silicon, so make some silicon. Did I bring too much iron? Screw up the math and bring up too much iron? Maybe. But we're now in the position to start converting silicon and methane into elixir, which is where we wanted these guys to be. So come next turn, where because they're so close to the star, they're going to get a whopping 5 actions each. So we're going to get 15 actions down there. It's going to be real productive. Okay, you finished getting there to explore. Good thing we didn't plan to come here, because this place is pretty hazardous. And there are animal skulls here. In this case, this is a 10 knowledge place, so this might actually be worth sending someone over to pick it up. This guy doesn't have the cargo space to do that, so it's not this guy, but we've determined that it is worth coming there. So we want to figure out that location, then go to fuel. Or that location, and go to fuel. I think I'm going to go down and then work my way back up. Basically, this guy's going around to do reconnaissance. He's got a nice low-mass ship, so he can go very far with very little fuel. Okay, so you have arrived with your fuel. That was the whole purpose of you coming here, was to drop off a bunch of fuel, because we are running a little low on fuel. So you're going to take 1 stack of fuel, and you're going to head back out. I do want to pick up the artifacts as we go, so let's send him back down here. We'll pick up that 10k artifact, or the 10 knowledge artifact, and then we'll ship him over to the fuel location. And the guys that are down here have actions. To be fair, a bunch of fuel as well, so... Okay, so we've got basically 1 stack of methane, or 1 stack of elixir made up. So we're looking pretty good as far as elixir goes for the next system. And everyone's in travel, so cycle. You came here to get that artifact, so we collect the artifact, get you back on the ship. We have artifacts here to pick up? No. So you're still going to go there anyway, I think, for fuel. Might have you stop off at the fuel refinery first to convert what's left of the water into fuel. Everyone else is in transit, except for the people down here. It's the elixir maker. Okay, so we're just needing to do the assembly. We can also harvest the artifacts here as well. Come next turn, I think. Any interesting artifacts in this location? Just a 5 kilogram or 5 knowledge worth. Probably not worth coming back down there. I don't think that's enough fuel on board if I go there. So we're going to go to the fuel location. Spend the 2 fuel there. And we should have enough fuel once we pick up more fuel. 3 fuel to get there. Enough to go explore the last unknown orbital location. Artifact location. Okay, so this small ship... what is it going to take to get the small ship out to the vault? 6. Okay, so it doesn't need to be carrying all the fuel if it's just going to go straight back. And that's what I think I'm going to have it do. Load up artifacts. Yeah. So we've gone ahead and made all the stuff we want. So we're going to send you one burst all the way back to main place. You probably want to take a trip out to the fuel maker. So it's 26 fuel there. I instead just send you 13 there. But also go there for 13. Okay. So it's 23. Yeah, okay, so I want to do this in two moves. That's what I want to do. So I want you to still go there. It's going to be 13 fuel up there. Same to go back to the vault, but I actually want them to go... Well, they are pretty full. They've got a bunch of fuel in them, so I probably just actually want them to go back to the vault. To unload, basically. You're the only one left. You're actually ready to go to the fuel location. Okay, everyone's in transit. You have arrived at the fuel location, so start making fuel. Basically got you full, so you're good to at least leave if we need you to leave. Okay, so now we've got you. If we can actually get him full on fuel to head out, let's do that. We got one more place to explore with him. So we want to send him here. It's worked out that that place has one that's worth 5, which probably isn't worth it. We've picked up the 2 from there. We don't know what's there. We know that you have 10 ones. Isn't worth it. Isn't worth the cargo capacity. And we picked yours up. So yeah, let's find out what's there. And sending off the little recon ship is the way to do that. Is pretty intensive. That's a 23 burn. Yeah, let's do it as 2... Well, actually, 23 burn on this thing is not much, right? 23 burn is just a 3 fuel burn. It's not worth saving a fuel. We'll save an action to not burn the fuel. Or to burn extra fuel. Okay, and then you are making fuel. If for no other reason, then you need fuel to leave. Okay, what did we find? No artifacts found. Okay, so we now know what's where, and the answer is basically grabbed everything that we want that isn't fuel. We're going to have you generate the last amount of fuel we can with the water on the location. I suppose the question is, do I want him to go down to the planet to make more water? Probably. Got plenty of time in system. Which, if that's the case, if I'm going to have him go down to the planet, we can leave these two in orbit, shuffle him down to the planet for 1, and have him start making water. Okay, so time to start shoving stuff in the vault. So elixir in the vault, elixir in the vault, water in the vault, iron in the vault. We can store some elixir in the chapel so that we have more space in the vault reserves itself. This is the cargo ship, so we probably want it stocked up with fuel anyway. Might actually want to build another engine before we head out. Because for orbital stuff, we still probably want the most fuel-efficient engine on it. So let's actually go ahead. We'll have the android with his spare action build us one of more of the fuel-efficient engines. We'll leave the engine behind. We'll take the android. We'll leave you behind. Do I need space in the cargo hold to drop artifacts off? Yes, for some reason, even though they don't take space up once you drop them off. Okay, so you drop all that off. Merge the fuel. Cargo hold in the vault is getting a bit full. Do I want to ship all these guys down on the cargo ship, just to generate a bunch of fuel? We got pretty much 7 more turns in this system before we need to leave. So yeah, let's do that. So with the fuel-efficient engine here, it's only 3 to go down. So let's leave the stack of fuel here, and let's send that threesome out. You're making water, so we've got stuff to make into fuel when the cargo ship arrives. Okay, you have arrived. The exploration ship probably doesn't want to be full with fuel. Don't necessarily want you on the exploration ship anymore. So now the question is, do I want to have him go down to get more fuel? I think we got enough turns that we could get a decent yield on fuel, so let's do that. Now the only guy left here is the guy stuck with a water-making duty. Okay, they have arrived. Let's have the guy on water-making duty make 1 load of water. Let's have him get in the ship, go up to orbit, so we've got some water in orbit. And we can have these guys all piling out of the cargo ship. They're not going to be super productive this turn at making fuel, but they're still going to make quite a bit of fuel. Might take the carbon with me to the main ship. You're moving. Okay. Okay, everyone's here. I don't necessarily think I want everyone to be necessarily right now making just water. I think I want the littler ships 2 little ships to go down and make... Well, making fuel. I want the 2 little ships to go make water, because we're going to need some... Oops. Whereas the big ship, the 3 on the big ship are going to be cranking out the petrol, cranking out the fuel. Okay. So close to ending this cycle that I'm going to play the rest of the cycle out instead of trying to break it up into 2 parts. Okay, so this guy's got 8 water. We're going to send him to orbit. That way I have the space to leave everyone behind except for the guy flying the cargo ship back to destination. They won't have time to both go and come. So they're going back to the station. They're going to stay there. On the other hand, these guys have still got 3 more turns of production they can pull out. Which is what they're going to do. We're going to make a bunch of fuel. Arguably, we're probably going to have much more fuel than we need. Okay, so I think I need you to go to orbit at this point. Otherwise, we're going to run out of water in orbit. Yeah, we got one water in orbit. Arguably, at this point, we're also starting to run out of cargo space. So we're gonna maximize the amount of water we can get back, or amount of petrol we can get back. Select that. Operate, operate. Operate, operate. Load all the guys back onto the ships. We're heading out next turn. Just in time. Okay, so this time, you will get to see what happens when the time runs out. When it started, we lost half our population overnight. Since then, our losses have conformed to a Napoleon progression over the course... Napierian progression. Over the course of several lived years, we've transmitted our initial findings, but any further study would be suicide. We've run out of turns. Every turn after this one, the solar system will be slowly consumed. Return all your ships and exiles to the vault and begin hibernation. So we don't have everyone at the ship right now, so we don't want to leave. So you're about to see what happens out of turns. So you press an end turn, and poof, the first rung of the system goes away. So obviously you need to get everyone back, because they get swallowed up by basically the coming storm. They get swallowed up by the coming storm, that's bad. I may have a little bit too much petrol. Just a little bit. But I think that's better than having too little petrol. Okay, so everyone in the vault for the snooze. So we got 5 people, including the android now. Good news, the android doesn't need stasis. Oops, actually, I am ready to begin hibernation. Once more into the dim starlight. Our chase has endured for such a time that the void is more comfortable than gravity. Our faith wavers. We have enough stasis. All the exiles are present in the vault, so we are leaving the system. The android doesn't require any stasis. On the other hand, the android loses 1 quality every time, and the android disappears when he hits 0. And the android can't be repaired. There's no way to repair the android. Whereas you can use the elixir to repair, well, to regenerate the faith on your exiles. So we can confirm the hibernation. So we can get another big ship. Not going to. We can get elixir production in orbit. So what I was planning on doing the first system, we can now in future systems do. So let's do that. And let's pick up the ability to always construct harvesters on... Oh, I need to assign that to someone. Let's assign it to the person with the highest faith. I think that's good. We've encountered young star with newly formed planets. So this is the new system. This is where we're going to stop for the moment. So if you've been watching on YouTube, I hope you've been enjoying it. There'll probably be a part up tomorrow because I should get around to recording it by then. But this is the last part being recorded tonight. If you're watching on Twitch, I hope you have been enjoying it. This is going to be the end of the stream. You can check the stream schedule for when things are going to be recorded in the future. I am planning on streaming every night. So I think this will be three days out from now. So until then, I hope you all have a good time, and good luck. Bye for now.